Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we count how many ways Vince can fuck up the Royal Rumble this year. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome. Here we are on the cusp of my favorite pay-per-view of the entire WWE card, the Royal Rumble. It is this Sunday. I am excited. I normally work on Sunday nights, so I have taken Sunday night off because I'm always excited for the Royal Rumble. Even though there is not going to be any fans this year, I think it's still going to be a lot of fun. There was a tweet, though, we'll get into later on in the headlines that might worry some people. We'll see. It may just be smoke. Who knows? But overall, Royal Rumble is always a fun time, regardless of if it's booked like shit or not. It's still entertaining. It just depends on what kind of mood it'll put us in going into WrestleMania. So fresh off of those marquee awards, hope you enjoyed those last week on our first episode of Lost in the Midcard of the year. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the awards there that we gave away. We are going to now dive in basically to the road to WrestleMania. Here we are. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically on a Wednesday, typically maybe mid-afternoon for the podcast and late afternoon, early evening for the YouTube versions are the typical go-to times for those releases. So hopefully you can at least get a little audio in before NXT and Dynamite on Wednesdays. You can also subscribe on the YouTube, as I said, and the links to all of that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Links are also on our Twitter page at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime, Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing, man. It's been a long week, and it's only Tuesday.
I hear you there.
I'm really hoping AEW and NXT give me something to be happy about tomorrow, because I'm kind of spent at the moment.
Yeah, it's only Tuesday. Well, we got 15 inches of snow yesterday, the other day.
Oh my goodness!
January record on Monday, 15 inches, and I didn't look outside, but apparently we're supposed to get 2 more tonight too. So,
holy shit!
Yeah, so I have not left the house since Sunday. I don't know if I can even leave the house if the side streets have not been plowed yet. There is no way I can leave the house.
Yeah, you stuck.
Yeah. So after I did my bar job on Sunday, and I did a little karaoke, had a few adult beverages, and had the smart idea to go to the grocery store and pick up a few frozen dinners and such, and some goodies just in case. And sure enough, they said 9 to 12, and we got 15. So it was it was pretty crazy. Yeah, January record, they said. So, yeah. So, but I don't have anything going on really. No bar job. I usually work Wednesdays and Sundays. No bar job tomorrow. I was supposed to be out of town, but those plans are probably being changed with the weather. So I guess I'm just gonna stay home and play Hitman 3. Now that I've beaten Cyberpunk,
everybody's talking about Hitman 3 right now.
Yeah, now that I've beaten Cyberpunk, move on to Hitman 3, and
I feel like Hitman 3 came out 15 years ago.
They didn't reinvent the wheel with it, but they didn't need to. It's a damn fun game. So.
Am I wrong though? Like, I feel like there was Hitman 3 like forever ago.
They rebooted the series.
So they just rebooted the whole franchise and just started the numbers over again.
Yeah. Well, I don't think.
Okay, why not?
Yeah, I don't know if they called it. I don't think they called it 1, 2, or 3 though. There was like Absolution, Blood Money. They had like names for the games. Um, so it wasn't necessarily 1, 2, 3, but this was like yeah, but they did a reboot, a hard reboot with just calling it straight up Hitman. And man, it was good. And Hitman 2 was good. And 3 is just it was a planned trilogy from the start. So icing on the cake. May not be another Hitman game for a long time because now IO is going to focus on the new James Bond game that's coming out probably next year sometime. So
Oh yeah, you're right. Back in the day, like they called it they did Hitman 2 Silent Assassin,
oh, okay.
but Hitman Contracts, which came out 2 years later, was not officially titled Hitman 3. I guess just in my mind it was Hitman 3.
Yeah, and then I just recently bought on sale HD remastered versions bundle of Blood Money and Absolution for PS4. I think those originally came out on 3 maybe or maybe PS2, I can't remember.
Yeah, I was talking PS2, like that
Yeah.
was like back in like 2004.
Yeah.
What I was talking about. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
this franchise has very much stood the test of time.
Yeah, it and the reboot has really reinvigorated it because they've just done a tremendous just every and like you can fly through the story in 2 days like I did, but then it's perfecting each locale, getting all the kills, uh just all the challenges is the fun part about it. It's not about the story's cool. There's some twists and turns, but it's not in depth. Like I said, you get through it in a day or two. It's like Call of Duty. You fly through the story and then you go play multiplayer. Here, you fly through the story and then you go try to perfect each locale. You know, with all the challenges they lay out, and so the replayability is just through the roof on this game. I love it. Impact tonight. Man, like Matt said, been a long week already. I was a little worn out after work because been a little busy at my main job, and so I took a little nap ski and I set the alarm for 6:50, 10 minutes before impact, and I said, nope. Went back to sleep. I got up about 8:45, and Matt still was doing a little work, so I put in impact right after it ended, so I was able to get impact in actually, even though I slept through it live. Start out with Rich Swann, and we've got an Impact Plus show coming up very soon with No Surrender. I don't know the date on that. I think that's February 13th. Yes,
It's February 13th, and I remember that specifically because February 14th is the NXT Takeover.
Yep.
So that's going to be a busy weekend.
And as a birthday present to Tommy Dreamer, who turns 50 on that night, February 13th, Rich Swann said it would be his honor to defend the Impact World Championship against Tommy. Tommy kind of taken aback to it. Didn't even get a chance to speak before everybody else came out to complain. Sami Callihan, Moose, Chris Bay, all, not happy about Rich Swann gifting Tommy Dreamer a title shot. And so then some attacking. Willie Mack coming back, making his way back to Impact, and kind of tried to help even the odds out. But then the lights went out and Kent Shamrock made his return from his 30-day suspension. But I have a feeling he may be getting another suspension after that. I wonder if he gets fired after the end of Impact, I wonder if his contract's running up, Matt. I think he might be maybe fired or something. I don't know. Because he had that 30-day suspension just because he put his hands on officials. And they beat the shit out of officials at the end of Impact. So
yeah, I mean, no offense to Shamrock, but he's not really bringing a whole lot to the table right now.
he's not a draw.
So if his contract is up and they decide to part ways, I don't think anybody's going to be really brokenhearted about it.
No, he's not a draw, pun intended, the nickname of Sami Callihan.
They might want to keep him around, though, just for the simple fact they just put him in their Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And it would kind of look bad on them to, induct the dude into their Hall of Fame and then kick him to the curb 3 months later.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe he's under some kind of, Impact Legends deal or some shit like that.
True. It may be just the fact that he's just.
I mean, that motherfucker got The Rock on Impact Television. I mean, that's got to count for something.
Yeah, maybe it's just the fact that he just wants to relax and chill. So this is a storyline way of getting him off TV, you know. And I don't know. After commercial, the three good guys pound on Demore's office, wanting some retribution. No pun intended there either. Demore says, "Well, you know, you're outnumbered, but hey, check what I got in my office." And they all liked what they had to see in his office. More to come on that later. Tag match: Matt Cardona, Josh Alexander, Ace Austin, Madman Fulton. Matt, are you worried that pro wrestling is pigeonholing Matt Cardona into being a tag team wrestler?
You could think that, but at the same token, Matt Cardona has been very vocal on Twitter that the teaming with Josh Alexander was a one-time thing, and that he's there to be a singles guy.
They're setting the seeds for him and Brad Myers to feud, though.
I was just gonna say, I think before this year's over, if he sticks around in Impact, I think we're getting a feud between him and Myers.
I like that backstage segment.
That did Brian.
Brian Myers took on Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers wins by DQ because all of a sudden Eddie Edwards snapped and put a thumb in the eye of Myers and started biting him and ignored the referee's 5 count. That was interesting, Matt.
Yeah, I thought that was a really weird finish.
I guess maybe the barbed wire match has snapped him, maybe. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Rosemary took on Tenille. And Larry D's back from jail. Johnny Swinger has made a makeshift casino with some Brizzards. Had a little segment with your Impact Knockout champion, Deonna Purrazzo, bragging about running Taya out of Impact. Jordan Grace and Jazz show up. We're going to have Susan and Jordan Grace next week. The Fire and Flavor Festival was not good, Matt.
It was the worst thing on the show.
It was not good.
It was not good at all. I'm glad you thought the same, because I was just watching. I'm like, man, this is bad.
I got a kick out of Nevaeh in the Stay Puft Marshmallow costume, though. That was about the only thing I liked about that.
The thing is, I really love when they do the wacky shit. Like I enjoyed the murder mystery with the wedding. I enjoyed Wrestle House.
Yeah.
You know, I like when they think outside the box, but this was just this fell flat. Yeah, exactly. it wasn't good. It was just like as soon as Alicia started talking, like even before the champs got out there, and I was like, man, this is not going to be good, is it?
There's nothing to it. There was just nothing to it.
I was right. It
was just a bland. It was a bland ripoff of the Fire Festival, which was like how many years ago? So it's an old joke, anyways. I mean, the Netflix documentary was like 2 years ago. So, Joe Doring took on Cousin Jake. Quick match there. Then we got ourselves a pretty good main event 8-man tag match. The team of the bad guys, Chris Bacon, Shamrock, Sammy Callahan, and Moose, took on Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Tommy Dreamer, and a mystery partner. That mystery partner, Trey Miguel. How about that, Matt? We finally answered the mystery of where is Trey Miguel. He apparently had some family issues, so understandably stepped away from wrestling for a little bit, while his brothers in the Rascals have been tearing it up in NXT early on. So apparently Trey back with Impact, Matt.
I think it's the best for him long term, because let's face it, the MSK is going to get a nice little month run or whatever, and then they're going to be buried, and everybody's going to forget about them. I hate to say that.
I don't know.
But I mean, that
tag division is so weak. That tag division is so weak that I don't know if they will get buried. They may actually reinvigorate that whole thing.
Look,
because of how weak
I would
that
love to be proven wrong, but I don't believe that they're going to have a good run in NXT. And I would love to be wrong because I liked the Rascals.
They're putting them over right now, though.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been there for one match.
Yeah, but
let's
see
what they're doing. Let's see what they're doing 3 months from now.
Yeah, you don't see them.
We could come back and revisit this around WrestleMania time.
Yeah,
I mean, we can figure out if MSK or Trey Miguel are in a better situation right now. And I'm sure a lot of people could argue, well, MSK is because they're getting paid more money. But some wrestlers want to be creatively fulfilled.
Yeah.
And not getting paid as much, but still being happy with their work means a great deal to them.
I'll tell you what, though. We have not seen NXT put this much backing to a tag team in recent time, though. So that's why I think this situation may be a little different, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, and Trey Miguel, I mean, if he went to AEW, he'd probably get a little lost. The AEW has so many people. They almost have too many people. Which in a way isn't a bad thing because it's employing. People are employed. But, the good guys got the win at the end. Trey Miguel getting the pin. Shamrock Mad puts a referee in the ankle lock, as that was what I was referring to earlier, as Impact goes off the air.
I'm in my zone.
Impact next week, we'll see TJP against Rohit Raju non-title. Rohit was talking to someone to have his back next week. I'm afraid it's Shara. See, I think he's still under contract with Impact. See, but I wonder if he's been hurt.
I don't know.
Singles match between tag teams. Tasha Steelz will take on Havoc. Madman Fulton will take on Josh Alexander. Jordan Grace will take on Susan, and Matt Hardy and Private Party will appear. Impact in 60 next week will be Best of Rich Swann. Dynamite for last week, episode number 67. We kick things off with -1's birthday celebration. He comes out on the shoulders of 10. And pretty cool little opening with the happy birthday stuff there. And Brody's family, Brody Jr., -1's family in the crowd as well. Luther and Serpentico show up, ripping on the Dark Order. And then Hangman comes out, and we get things kicked off on the announced match here. No surprise with the birthday celebration that the good guys, Hangman, Silver Reynolds, and Colt Cabana, get the win there. And then Luther gets a face full of birthday cake and also eats a kendo stick from -1. I would have liked to seen Luther sell that kendo stick a little better.
Yeah.
But Serpentico sold it. So a good and then -1 throwing the papers. So good work by -1, huh, Matt?
It was definitely entertaining. It was probably my favorite part of the show last week.
So then Johnny Hungy gets on one knee to propose to Hangman Adam Page to join the Dark Order, and Page says, "I've done the group thing before, I can't." But Dark Order was assuming he'd say yes, and had graphics and confetti to show that. But Page said he's sorry and grabs the whiskey bottle from Stu and leaves. I think he's eventually gonna join.
I hope so. I think they're playing it out.
Yeah, they're gonna wear him down. I think our prediction from the show, Matt, is gonna break him eventually. I think -1's gonna ask him. I
thought that's what they were going to do last Wednesday. And they didn't.
I think they're going to drag it out, and then that's going to be. I think they're going to drag it out, and that'll be the breaking point for Page. Is going to be my guess.
Yeah, you might be right.
Sting coming out wearing a Brody Lee shirt. That was cool. Talks about how he sees himself in Darby. Didn't want to interrupt the TNT Championship match last week, but saw that shit was going down, and so he said he decided to interject. Then Taz interrupts, calling bullshit, and challenge into a street fight, and it has been accepted at Revolution. Brian Cage and Ricky Starks will take on Sting and Darby Allin in a street fight. Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you damn well knew you weren't getting this at fucking on Dynamite.
No. Not even Beach Break.
I think anytime Sting gets in the ring, it's going to be on pay-per-view.
Yep.
Like, agreed. I think that's going to be how little he works.
Yep.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think they need to overexpose him in the ring. But I think anytime that man's going to work, you're going to fucking pay.
Yep.
You know, you're going to fucking pay to see that man work.
I wonder what kind of bumps he's going to take. I know it's not going to be nuts.
I think it's going to be a cinematic match, so I don't think he's going to take many.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a street fight, so
yeah, I think it's going to be, you know, technically a street fight could be, you know, just people in street clothes wrestling around the ring. We've seen street fights like that from several companies over the years.
But
I think this is going to be more along the lines of a cinematic match where Sting can be ultimately protected, and I don't think he ends up taking many bumps, if at any at all, in this match at Revolution. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction.
Yeah. Is that a prediction and not a spoiler?
It's not a spoiler because I don't know it for a fact. But I have a pretty good idea. Pretty good idea.
Young Bucks show up at Kenny Omega's house. Michael Nakazawa's the butler now. Well, he wasn't really a butler. He was like a assistant kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess carrying around the laptop kind of makes him more of an assistant.
How about that oil painting? That was something.
I got nothing.
That was something, pal. So basically, Don Callis, moral of the story, Don Callis is trying to buy off the friendship of Kenny Omega and the Bucks. And a great line by Matt Jackson talking about Impact writing bad checks. And then the Bucks beat the shit out of Don Callis. So I thought it was a pretty good segment, Matt. As far as
I rather would have seen
ass beating.
Yes. Other than that, yeah. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and that, seriously, I popped at that oil painting. I thought that was some funny shit, man. I laughed. I laughed. Cody Rhodes took on Pretty Peter Avalon, and boy, I don't think I need to hear JR say Pretty Peter anymore.
I don't need to hear JR say a lot of things anymore, but that's just me. I would really prefer if it was just Shivani and Excalibur in the booth, to be perfectly honest.
And Morrow.
I don't think Morrow's interested in doing wrestling anymore.
God, I don't know, man.
And honestly, a 2-man booth is more than efficient.
Yeah.
And if they really wanted to throw in a third, you know, if Taz isn't, you know, doing his Team Taz thing, he could fill in.
Yeah.
Because Taz and Excalibur on Dark is what makes Dark worth watching.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just saying
guys, those two together are hilarious. Look, and sometimes JR is good, and sometimes it's just like
he's out of touch sometimes.
Like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Sometimes he's out of touch. Sometimes he screws up. Sometimes he's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely forgot what I was going to say, so let's move on.
My bad.
Oh, no. I was going to say something like literally just now, and I forgot it. It wasn't like while you were talking. It was literally like, I forgot. Okay. It's all getting old. Jade Cargill with a distraction, allowing Pretty Peter to get a little bit of offense in, but then in the end, Cody gets the win because Avalon did not want to get slapped in the face, so he taps out. I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, we had a promo with FTR. And Jurassic Express shows up. Jungle Boy tells Dax that and Cash that he could beat either one of them. Dax accepts the challenge. Luchasaurus saying he's going to make sure nobody gets involved. Jon Moxley takes on Nick Komoroto, kind of a relative newcomer to AEW. He's been on Dark a couple of times. Kind of an impressive dude, I would say, Matt. I thought he was kind of.
I've seen him on Dark. I like his style. Nice powerhouse guy. And this was the one thing I actually did appreciate from Jim Ross. They actually explained why the match was happening.
Yeah. Nobody else would step up to the challenge.
I like when shit is explained.
But WWE sure the fuck doesn't do that.
Yes.
Yeah, they explained the fact that nobody wanted to face Moxley, and Komoroto was the only one to step up to the. I don't even know how I'm saying his name right. Komoroto or I don't know how else to say it. So, yeah, if it gets on more, then I'll learn his name better. I might be saying it right. Fuck, I don't know. But he got some good offense in on Moxley, I thought, and it was good. Moxley cutting a promo afterwards, talking about Kenny Omega and his frat brothers from Nashville. Of course, we're going to be leading up to a big 6-man tag at Beach Break with Kenny and the Good Brothers against Mox Phoenix and Pac. I'm never gonna say Pac first. I can. It's always in my mind that it's Pac for some reason. Kenny Omega enters the building wearing an awesome shirt, by the way. Expensive, awesome shirt, by the way. Notice that Callis had a big shiner and asked who did it, and Callis wouldn't give it up. Didn't want to give it up. So
he did.
Then he did. He didn't want to at first, but then he did.
He wanted to.
Yeah. Well, it's Callis. He's a slime ball. Come on. Excellent 6-man tag match. Matt Sydal and Top Flight against Hardy Party. Loved it. And I think we got our first little inklings of Private Party embracing the big money lifestyle and doing a little heel stuff, huh?
Well, they needed to evolve the tag team if they're going to be with Hardy. So, I mean, it makes sense.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to see these guys as heels. Penelope Ford took on Layla Hirsch. Decent little match there. Originally it was going to be Nyla Rose, but found someone close to her had COVID, so they replaced her with Penelope. Miro with his butler Charles Taylor made Charles say that Miro is his best friend now, and the sad look on Orange Cassidy was just heartbreaking, wasn't it, Matt?
But also incredibly stupid. Because, like, how is he's standing right there, and Miro is forcing him to say it. So why are you sad? You know he doesn't mean it. Like, the whole segment, that ending segment to me made no sense. And that's when JR's smartass comment, I actually agreed with him. Because Excalibur's like, oh, they're breaking up the best friends. And Jim Ross is like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, yeah, like, it. Like, no, I'm not buying that line at all, because they're not breaking up the best friends, because, you know, he didn't fucking mean it. He was just saying it because he had to. Like, why are you sad, Orange?
I liked
like, he's lazy, but he's not stupid.
I liked Miro's line calling him the George Michael wannabe.
Oh.
Good Brothers beat up Penta backstage. Kenny Omega joins in on the fun.
Which I didn't even really understand why they were beating him up.
Well, his brother's a part of that 6-man at Beach Break, so it's just they're.
Yeah, but that 6-man wasn't announced until afterward.
Oh, I thought it was before they announced it.
No, it was announced afterward. That's why, since Penta was out, they put Moxley in.
Oh, I thought that was announced like a week before. Okay.
No, they announced that beach break match after that attack.
Oh.
Like they announced, I think they announced it during the main event or whatever. The commentators announced it. And so I didn't really understand the attack, but on Being the Elite this week, the Good Brothers were like, "We did it. We took them out because they attacked you guys."
Well, yeah, because Lucha
to the Young Bucks
because Penta
the week before.
Well, yeah, because Penta and Phoenix had come out with to attack after that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like that was Gallus and Anderson's reasoning on BTE. They said because they attacked because the Lucha Brothers attacked the Young Bucks the week before. And I'm not sure I'm really buying it. But yeah.
Main event was the Triple Threat Inner Circle Tag Team Challenge. Good little match here between Jericho, MJF, Santana Ortiz, and Sammy Hagar. Even got Sammy Hagar of rock and roll fame to drop a line because, of course, he's got Chris Jericho got ties in the rock and roll world. So that was pretty cool to see Hagar drop a line ahead of that match. No surprise to us. Jericho and MJF won the match by doing a little cheating, thanks to Wardlow. But yeah, I thought it was overall a good match, a good main event there. Good solid.
This is war.
Good solid. A good solid Dynamite. Not mind blowing by any means, but good.
We're not going to talk about Jericho almost breaking his neck on the Lionsault.
Oh yeah, yeah. Quit doing that, Jericho.
Ooh, that was rough.
Yeah, you're not a cruiserweight anymore, Jericho. And as we look ahead to this week on Dynamite, 8-man tag, Dark Order taking on Bucks Good Brothers. Darby Allin and Sting address their street fight. Jericho and MJF will take on the Varsity Blondes. Moxley will speak. Britt Baker takes on Shanna. Hangman Page in action. Cody Rhodes responds to Shaquille O'Neal, Jungle Boy, and Dax, which I think will be a good match.
And can you explain to me what the fuck he's responding to? They're like, Cody's responding to Shaquille O'Neal. I'm like, what the fuck did Shaq say?
He must have
Shaq hasn't said anything since that fucking thing where Brandy threw water in his face. Like, what is he responding to?
Unless he said something on social media or something that will...
Not that I'm aware of. I would have reported it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't fucking understand it. Literally, Brandy getting pregnant has thrown like a gigantic monkey wrench into this entire storyline, and now it just makes absolutely no sense. Like, we're gonna get Cody versus Shaq at Revolution, and it's gonna be whatever, and it's gonna be done and over with. But good lord, this storyline makes no sense. I hope they attempt to explain it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope on Dynamite they somehow can fill in the holes. Somehow this can make sense, because right now it's just it's a clusterfuck right now. So
and hopefully, although actually no, this probably won't. The main event will probably be the 8-man. Well, maybe not. With maybe this might be the main event, because this has been building for a while. This should be a good one. I would put this as the main event. Lance Archer, Eddie Kingston.
I think the 8-man's the main event.
Yeah, that's what I think too. So
I would be shocked. I would legitimately be shocked if the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers against the Dark Order wasn't close to the show. I think.
Yep.
Like, I think it's gonna. I would open with Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston. That's how I open the show.
Yeah, because I think it's gonna end with Bucks attacking the Good Brothers or something like that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to work.
I think they're gonna brawl to end the show, so that's probably why that's gonna be a main event.
I don't know if they want to get to that point that quickly, but it might happen.
I think attacking Callis might have escalated things, but you never know. NXT, welcome Beth Phoenix back to the booth in person as she joins Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett. Dusty Cup, The Way against Kushida, Leon Ruff. Good little opening match here. I thought this was really well done. Little surprised that Kushida and Ruff won, but Kushida pinning Gargano definitely can set the seeds for February 14th takeover, which, as Matt said last week on the show, better be called St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Right.
So storyline, it makes a lot of sense, but really, really well done. Good tag match with those four guys to start. Karrion Kross destroyed Ashante the Adonis, and then later destroyed Desmond Troy, so much so that they knocked him out of the Dusty Cup. I don't know if there's a replacement team. I don't know. I have not seen an update, Matt. Have you? Or is that team just going to buy? Where I believe on that end of the bracket was Davari and Nice.
Oh, you didn't hear who the new team was?
Nope. I must have missed that news.
Thatcher.
Oh.
Yeah, Champ and Thatcher in that spot now.
I missed that news.
Yep.
That makes me happy. Great little sit down with MSK before our little sit down, a little get to know you thing. They kind of showed what did they call that move in Impact where it does the shooting star and where I'm going to use their names now. Where Nash Carter does the shooting star and Wesley pushes him. You remember what that was called in Impact? It had a name, but I cannot remember it to save my life. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I don't. Explain it to me again.
You know when Wentz does the shooting star and Xavier pushes him onto he does the shooting star off of the guy, and then Xavier pushes him in midair, so then he lands on the guy. You know that move that the Rascals did?
Yeah, I think vaguely.
Yeah. It had a name in Impact. I can't remember what it was. And they used it on NXT. And then they showed it in slow motion on the little sit down. I can't remember what they called it though.
I'm gonna see if I can find it on the machine of the Google.
You a little surprised Lucha House Party went over Imperium here?
Yes and no. Yes, because I'm surprised that they put them together in the first place. But they wanted to get Lucha House Party and Legado del Fantasma against each other. So honestly, they could have put Imperium somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. The move you were referring to is called the Hot Fire Flame.
Hot Fire Flame. There we go. Obviously, will be called something else in NXT.
Yes, I'm sure that will not be called that in NXT. But I do think you're right, though. They still have not revealed what MSK means, and I do think it's men that smoke Kush.
I threw that together.
Dude, I legitimately think you're right.
I just threw that together.
Yeah, you might have just thrown it together, but the fact that nobody, including the tag team itself, has revealed what MSK means, I believe that's what it is. I believe you figured it out. I think it's men that smoke Kush.
Pretty cool introduction to the Women's Dusty Cup with all the competitors, along with Beth Phoenix and William Regal. Beth Phoenix running down all the great women that have been in NXT as well. That was pretty cool. Hey, who called it? Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter winning against Tony Storm and Mercedes Martinez. Who called it? This guy right here last week. Good stuff. Finn Balor heads to William Regal's office, wants to face Pete Dunne. Wasn't that what who was that? Riddle calling him that? Pete Dunne? Is that where that got started?
I think so.
Now I can't quit calling him Pete Dunne. Fucking Riddle. Balor wants to take out Lorcan and Birch. Regal. Imagine Riddle is the GM. Bro. Regal says, Finn, you got to go get yourself a partner. We all know who the partner's going to be. But
Games.
No, War Games is not the partner.
No, you said how it would be like if Matt Riddle was running.
Bro games.
Bro games.
Welcome to Bro Games, man. Regal tells Ballard to keep your enemies closer. We all know who.
It was, to me, it was so obvious.
Yeah.
So obvious.
What do you are you liking the heel swerve? I'm a little 50-50 on it at this point.
I just want to see the man fucking pushed.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that would be nice.
Feuding with Bronson Reed may not get him pushed unless I almost feel like they're pushing Reed, but I am not seeing it with Tyler Rust right now.
I'm not seeing it with quite a few of the people they're trying to push at the moment, but I'm willing to give them a chance to, flourish. And I mean, at the end of the day, we need to remember that, fucking NXT is supposed to be a developmental territory.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really treated like such anymore.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I just don't see it in him yet. And I can see it in people pretty quick. But I don't see the look. I'm not seeing it with him right now. Bronson Reed defeated Tyler Rust. Malcolm Bivens not happy that Tyler Rust went to Regal and got this match himself because he knew that Bronson Reed was going to beat that ass. Finn Balor interviewed backstage, says there's a couple people that owe him a favor. He's going to go talk to him. Goes into the Undisputed Era locker room. Says he wants payback, needs a partner. Asks Kyle if he's in or if he's still sucking his meals through a straw. Roddy got a little pissed, but Adam Cole said, chill out, Roddy. O'Reilly says that he's in. So there you go. Santos Escobar cutting a little promo. Lucha House Party interrupts. They get in a brawl with Legado. Kurt Stallion shows up to even up the odds as the young Kurt Stallion is being pushed to be the next challenger to Santos Escobar's Cruiserweight Championship. So that was pretty good there. I do not know much about Kurt Stallion yet, though, Matt. But
he's supposed to be fighting Esco tomorrow night.
We'll find out a lot about him tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So, more news on Mr. Shamrock.
Oh, boy.
Impact released a video of what happened when Impact went off the air.
I noticed that came out, yeah.
Yeah, and he continued to ankle lock the referee. Callahan got him off of the ref. He then punched Callahan and knocked him down. Put the ankle lock back on the ref. Callahan walked out on Shamrock, and Shamrock proceeded to beat up a whole bunch of security people to end the footage. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, Shamrock was on a kayfabe 30-day suspension for attacking officials, and this
he just beat up a shitload of them.
This was his first night back from that. So back to vacation you go, sir.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, Kurt Stallion, as JR would say, is definitely white meat babyface, young guy, up and comer.
I don't like the name.
Kurt Stallion?
Because, yes, it sounds like somebody who could play the part of Matt Riddle's little brother. I don't like the name.
I did not know where you were going to go when you said Matt Riddle and Stallion.
Well, that's exactly what I meant. He's always talking about being the Stallion and shit. So, yeah, I don't dig the name, brother.
Can I just say I love the Fight Pit?
Oh yeah, the fight. Oh yeah. I mean, if you don't like the Fight Pit, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
And again, Thatcher and Ciampa deliver, but I love the Fight Pit, man. I love the open where it's like the scaffolding. It's like a scaffolding match. Brings me back of the days when it was, I think it was Road Warriors and Steiners. I'm watching in the NWA in the 80s as a little kid. and and then somebody gets knocked down in the ring, and then you're into the pit. It's a great concept. I love it.
And they enter differently than they did the last time they did the pit. It was completely a new.
Yeah,
tried out.
I like this way. I like this way. Yeah, I like this way, where they start on the scaffolding, and the unique rules. No pinfalls. You got it, knockout or submission. So, yeah, I love the concept completely. And Thatcher 2-0 in the fight pit. He owns the fight pit, you could say. And that is interesting that him and Ciampa, they might win the whole fucking thing. I think they're gonna win the whole thing, Matt.
I don't think so.
I do. I think they're gonna win the whole thing.
I think one of them will lose, and the other one will blame the other one, and their feud will continue. I don't think they're gonna win the whole thing.
I almost it's weird to say, but I almost liked NXT more than AEW this week.
I wouldn't go that far. I didn't think either show necessarily blew me away. But I still enjoyed AEW more. But honestly, if we're talking this week's Impact with last week's AEW, I think both of them were on the downswing, as compared to the week before. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like, I thought Impact last week was amazing, and I thought AEW the week before that was amazing too. And then last week's AEW and this week's Impact were kind of like on a down, on a downswing. And I wouldn't even say that AEW was bad. It just wasn't up to my typical AEW standards, if that makes sense. It was still kind of bland. It was still miles better than anything we see on Mondays.
Fuck yeah.
So like at that point, it's hard. It's hard to complain. Because when I compare it to Raw, like there was at no point was I bored watching AEW. At no point was I looking at the clock and like, oh my god, this show feels like it's fucking 50 hours long. At no point I feel like my intelligence was being insulted, like to the point where I just wanted to do something else.
Well, outside of the best friend part.
Yeah, but it was enough that JR commented on it himself. So when somebody on the program is calling it out, it makes you feel like the audience is in on the joke. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So as long as there's a voice of reason on the program during a certain point like that, I think that helps because it shows essentially that they're not treating their audience like morons. Because Jim Ross is there to be like, come on, really? Like, do you really think they're breaking up the best friends here? Like, let's be realistic here. Yeah, exactly. Will you stop? And that's kind of, and I appreciate that. I really and truly can't stress enough how much I appreciate that about AEW.
Tomorrow's NXT card, pretty damn loaded, I gotta say. Balor and O'Reilly take on Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Santos Escobar, Kurt Stallion for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. 2 Dusty Rhodes quarterfinal matches. MSK against Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Who wins that one, Matt?
Ooh.
I'm going to say MSK.
See, you're the one that's thinking they're getting a proper push. I'm going to go with Dane and Maverick.
I think this other quarterfinal match is going to be more obvious of who wins. Kushida, Leon Ruff taking on Grizzled Young Veterans. It is clear Gargano is going to cost Kushida and Leon Ruff. Book it, pal. And I don't think we're going to have an upset in the Women's Dusty Cup this time, like we did last week. Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez take on Jessica Maya and Aaliyah. Yeah, no upset there, Matt. Matt, let's talk about the A show of WWE SmackDown. Roman Reigns, poor Roman got blindsided, and the opening segment ends with Paul Heyman against Adam Pearce in a match. What in the world happened there?
What do you mean?
No, in Paul he's so afraid. Paul is so afraid of Roman Reigns that he now wants to get in a match with Adam Pearce. He's a tough guy now. I guess you can be with Roman as your guy, right?
Well, look, I appreciated them doing something different.
Yeah. Well, again, SmackDown is thinking outside the box. Raw is rehashing the box as many times as they can.
Oh, not wrong.
I mean, they're really. I mean, what they've done with Adam Pearce on SmackDown has been pretty good. I thought, and WWE does have a track record of making us sick of authority figures, and I think they're doing a good job with Pearce booking wise. So. Sami Zayn with his documentary crew chains himself at ringside to protest. Charlotte Flair and Asuka took on the Riot Squad. And, Billy Kay fucked things up again. And Charlotte Flair and Asuka get the win. And Ruby and Liv kicked Billy to the curb. Poor Billy. Daniel Bryan comes out talking about the Royal Rumble match, how he's never won it. Cesaro shows up saying that he thought he beat some sense into Bryan last week. Even greeted Sami Zayn on the way to the ring with some French because, he speaks 5 different languages. I clicked on red.
I told you we're going to love that.
Dolph Ziggler shows up as Cesaro issued an open challenge to anybody in the Royal Rumble match, and Dolph Ziggler shows up. And Ziggler claimed nobody in the locker room can go toe-to-toe with him except Cesaro. No offense, Daniel Bryan, but it's not 2014 anymore. So we led to Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler. Quick little win for Cesaro as, hey, look at this. We're pushing Cesaro. We're pushing Nakamura. We're doing some things with some different people on the A show. I like it. Sasha Banks and Reginald was, I thought was pretty entertaining, Matt.
It was something.
Reginald's got some moves. That's for damn sure. Big E, Apollo Crews ended with Sami Zayn unhandcuffing himself and hitting a haluva kick and on Apollo, which led to Apollo winning by DQ. Kevin Owens from outside of the Thunderdome said that he couldn't get into the building because Reigns pulled some strings, but he'll be at the Rumble and he'll settle this with Roman once and for all. Is this a last man standing match?
At the Rumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, KO and Reigns is last man standing.
Oh, that's right, because Roman got cute and changed it from no DQ. That's right. Yeah. Street Profits trying to kiss up to Sonya Deville with a fruit basket. Sonya says, well, Montez, wait till you're healing up, and then we'll put you back into that title shot. Which is a fair assessment. Hey, why The obstacle course challenge, you know, it is what it was, but holy cow, how about Bianca Belair carrying Otis? That was badass, wasn't it?
I was shocked that she was able to carry him that far. And I'm not trying to be mean, but Otis is a big fucking boy.
And with ease.
She kind of, yeah, I was gonna say she kind of carried him with ease. So it was kind of nuts.
King Corbin defeated Dominic Mysterio really quick, so Corbin is still a thorn in the Mysterio sides there. Reigns, obviously we did not get Heyman and Pierce in a match, and Reigns hit Pierce with a Superman punch and was going to beat the hell out of him, but here comes KO, and KO to save the day, and to end the show. But was trying to attack Reigns some more, but got stopped by the referees. So good stuff there to end the good A show. I'll tell you what, Raw was a little better than average. A decent go-home show, I would say, Matt. I thought it was decent.
I didn't think Raw was good at all.
I thought it was decent. McIntyre back
You're being very kind tonight.
I am. McIntyre back in the Thunderdome after being away with COVID. Had the face-to-face with was going to have the face-to-face with Goldberg, but Miz and Morrison interrupted. Miz basically calling his shot that he's going to cash in regardless of what happens on Sunday. It will be interesting to see if that does happen. Goldberg then shows up, says, you, me, Sunday, you're next. And then Miz and Morrison continue to talk. So then Spear, Claymore, and then they go back to the stare down to end that segment. I was perfectly fine with that segment. Not too bad with Goldberg and Drew there. Charlotte Flair, Shayna Baszler, match we do want to see, but yeah, we only got 1 minute of it before it ended in DQ. And then Teddy Long came out and made it a six woman tag match playa. And then John Cone counts out Shayna Baszler, and so then they complain and restart the match. And that was just a whole clusterfuck, wasn't it, Matt?
Fuck of clustering.
I'll tell you what, though. I kind of am liking what's going on with Retribution and Xavier Woods, and eventually a returning Kofi Kingston. It's clearly the best thing they've done with Retribution since they've put them on TV. I've liked this stuff so far, Matt. I mean, the matches have been, not, the matches aside, I think the build and such, I think in the story and calling back to 2 years ago, I think it's been good. In my opinion, Matt.
Don't you think it would make more sense instead of Xavier Woods having to be all alone, that the other person who has been a thorn in Retribution's side and Ricochet would want to help him out?
I mean, that would take creative putting 2 and 2 together, though.
Yeah, that's what, it's the logic shit that frustrates me with this company. Like they suddenly they want us to remember a storyline from 2 years ago. But 2 weeks ago, when Retribution was feuding with Ricochet, we were supposed to forget about that. Ricochet's just not on TV anymore.
He's like, nah.
It's so fucking frustrating, dude.
He's like, nah, I got beat up. It's somebody else's turn. I don't need to help. VIP Lounge, the members presented MVP with a brand new THB gold necklace. Alexander trying to claim that he helped design it, and Benjamin didn't like that answer. And then R-Truth came out because he thought THB stood for Truth Happy Birthday. Oh, Truth. Never changed, Truth. And then all the 24/7 people came out. Hey, Tucker. Good to see how they broke up Heavy Machinery. Now you get to run around chase the 24/7 champion. Sweet gold chain, though. Sheamus, John Morrison. Again, Sheamus continuing to impress in the past year. This was a real good 10-minute match, TV match between these two guys. Sheamus, obviously, a lot more momentum than Morrison at this point. Morrison, more of a joke at this point. And then Miz challenges them to a 2-on-1 match, which Miz and Morrison got the advantage of later on. So that helped kill some time. Oh, we got a scene with Lacey Evans and Ric Flair that just reminded us all of Triple H and Trish Stratus.
Oh, that's exactly what it reminded me of. It wasn't done nearly as well either.
No. R-Truth took on AJ Styles, I think, to try to get into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Oh, Truth. But got a little offense in, but eventually had to submit to the calf crusher. Riddle had to face the gauntlet to be able to face Lashley for the U.S. title, and that he did. He beat Benjamin first, mainly thanks to Cedric Alexander. He rolled up MVP because MVP was trying to break up the bickering duo. And then Riddle versus Cedric Alexander was pretty fun. Good match between those two guys. But in the end, Riddle gets the win there and will be able to face Lashley. And then Lashley came out and slapped the old hurt lock onto Riddle in the end. It has not been made official, but I'm assuming they're going to probably throw that in on Sunday, Matt.
I mean, I feel like since they haven't announced it by now, I don't know if they're going to. Like, I thought it was going to be for the Rumble.
They only have 5 matches, but 2 are Rumbles.
I thought it would make sense to throw that in there, but the fact that it hasn't been announced and it's essentially Wednesday now, like, if we don't hear about it by the time, NXT and AEW are over tomorrow, I don't think it's happening.
Last year, we had 2 pre-show matches and 6 main card matches. And that's with 2 Rumbles.
So you're saying they had 8 matches total?
Yeah, and right now only 5 are announced.
Well, you also need to keep in mind that fans this year either.
Yeah. And
so, the shows have been noticeably shorter.
Well,
since the era of no fans have rolled in.
True, but what I'm saying is they're just going to throw 2 matches together for the pre-show. So that
I don't think we're getting a 2-hour pre-show either. We haven't gotten a 2-hour pre-show
they still could do 2 matches though in 1 hour.
I think whatever they do in the pre-show will be 1 match.
But they did 6 matches on the main card last year, so maybe there's room to add 1 more match.
No, there's certainly room to add it. I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to, because I feel like if they were going to, this would have been something that should have been announced already.
Yeah. Well, actually, Lashley's in the Rumble, so.
Also, Charlotte and Asuka, and Nia and Shayna, they're fighting for the tag titles on the show. So.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all pulling double duty. Well, Asuka's not pulling double duty, but
she could if she faced Alexa Bliss.
No, they got the title shut out of the way on Raw Monday.
Well, it ended in a no decision, though.
It didn't end at all. Like, the bell didn't even ring when they ordered to hit the RKO.
Yeah. Edge cutting a very awesome promo, announcing he's going to return at the Rumble, which we expected, and obviously with no crowd. Hey, why don't we just call the shot now and build the excitement for this week for the return of Edge to the ring after 7 months. So nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, let's give fans 6 days to get their hopes up that Edge might win the Rumble and give it to Brock Lesnar instead.
And as Matt said, Alexa Bliss and Asuka Raw Women's Championship. And then ended in finally Randy Orton hitting an RKO on Bliss. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later, but there it was. Big news. Big bombshell dropped yesterday that the WWE Network is now moving to Peacock, the streaming service of NBC. This change is going to happen effective in March, I believe. March 18th is the date. So details have not really been announced yet about how things are going to get moved over. If the current app is just going to be dead after the 18th and you got to go to Peacock, that stuff I guess will be worked out over the next 7 weeks. But the good news is you can get every WWE pay-per-view and ad-supported past all the content of the WWE Network with ads for half the price, $5. Or Peacock has ad-free version for $10. So then you're basically getting the WWE Network plus everything Peacock has with all their NBC shows, Saturday Night Live. They have The Office. I think they have Friends, and that it's all ad free.
I think Friends is HBO Max.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm saying Friends because it was on NBC, but yeah, I think you're right. I've seen people. Here is the example of people just love to bitch about anything. I just don't see a negative thing about this, Matt. Do you? Especially if you're just in it for the pay-per-views, you're now saving $5 a month.
I just hope I hope their live streaming quality is prepared for this.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, Peacock doesn't live stream anything right now. So I really fucking hope you guys are ready to stream fucking WrestleMania in April. Because if they don't, and this thing's a fucking disaster, it's gonna be bad. Like the only solace you can take in it is at least Fastlane will be the first pay-per-view on Peacock, so they have a chance to get the kinks out of the system ahead of time. But yeah, like I'm not sure.
Wall Street Journal is reporting that the takeover is worth $1 billion in revenue for the WWE, making $200 million a year. WWE President Nick Khan spoke with The Wrap about the announcement and highlights of the conversation of how it benefits the WWE. He talked about how they went from closed circuit to pay-per-view in the early 80s and were the first mover outside of Netflix to go into the video-on-demand model in 2014. And believe they're the first mover to deal with a partner that is a massive conglomerate such as NBC. And so this is going to reach a whole new audience. He mentions Peacock is free in 24 million homes that have Comcast cable and Cox. I believe Xfinity also gets Peacock for free. So that's an additional however many, million subscribers that Xfinity has. And then also mentioned about the cost of it going down to $4.99 a month for the ad-supported tier, which includes also English Premier League if you're a soccer fan, in The Office, and as stuff I just mentioned. Talking about what it means for SmackDown and Fox, he said, confident and happy with our Fox SmackDown relationship. Multiple years left on that deal, so nothing's changed there. So whether this deal was a reaction to losing live touring, he said it wasn't a consideration. We expect that we're going to have fans at WrestleMania in a couple months and expect that when it is safely able to come back above and beyond partial capacity, we'll be one of the first ones to go. Keep in mind that our events are typically priced fan-friendly, and so that loss was not a deciding factor in the deal. So there you go. WWE or NXT has announced 3 signings, mainly ahead of the Women's Dusty Cup. Cora Jade, formerly known as Elena Black, who has appeared on AEW Dark and was a regular with Warrior Wrestling. Zoe Stark, known as Lacey Ryan, worked with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and also Impact Wrestling. And Gigi Dolan, who you may recognize the most, formerly known as Priscilla Kelly. Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, talking about WrestleMania 37, and can confirm that the current plan is for each night of WrestleMania to be a 3-hour broadcast going from 7 to 10 Eastern. Card subject to change. Beyond WrestleMania events, nothing has been locked into place for WrestleMania weekend. There have been rumblings of doing a virtual Hall of Fame event, but that is not 100% locked in. Company's primary goal is figuring out how to undertake letting fans attend safely. And so that's where we're at right now. So at about a few hours ago, WrestleVotes posted a tweet. That may scare the shit out of you. Who knows? It may be nothing. Who knows? They say, sorry for the lack of details here, but noteworthy in my opinion. Had a brief conversation earlier with a source regarding the men's Royal Rumble match. They said, quote, there's a finish that scares the death out of me, and it's legitimately getting heavy consideration. Oh, boy. Would Brock Lesnar winning the Rumble really scare the death out of someone, though? There? This just screams something bad creatively. But I can't.
Brock Lesnar coming back to Main Event Mania is something bad creatively as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's true. This just seems like something different that is really going to make us shake our heads even worse. I don't know. What else could it be?
I don't know, man. Like Goldberg could win the damn Rumble.
Lose to Drew and win the Rumble.
Lose to Drew, win the Rumble. Roman could lose to KO and then go in and win the Rumble.
Now that does not. I don't hate that.
The Fiend could set the entire Rumble on fire and nobody can win.
Hey, that was my idea, pal.
Yeah, well, you didn't say it, so I took it.
Roman doing that does not say, oh, that scares me, because he's been booked so well. That's not really terrible. Goldberg, that's bad. Brock it's more annoying than bad, but God, I don't know. This just screams even worse. I don't know. There is Amazon Prime subscribers. There is a documentary on Amazon Prime now for talking about the rise and fall of Vampiro called Nail in the Coffin, if you want to go check that out. Talking some ratings. Impact's rating fell a little bit last week, down to 147,000, down from 161 the week prior. The battle on Wednesday nights was won once again by AEW, 854 to 659. Both did see increases from the prior week, but both stayed the same in 18 to 49, 0.3 to 0.14. SmackDown continues to rise in their rating, up to 2.28 million viewers. Pretty good number there. Actually been their outside of the NFL lead-in, that's been their biggest number. Wow. If we don't count the NFL lead-in that brought them 3.3 million, because that was kind of an easy cheese there. That was the best rating for SmackDown since April 10th, which was what? The Friday after WrestleMania. So SmackDown getting that audience. Monday Night Raw.
It's been a good show. They deserve the audience.
And Monday Night Raw, though, oof, back down to 1.81 million. So there, Monday Night Raw, the flagship show, getting 500,000 less viewers. Getting 500,000 less viewers. Total Bell has pulled in 352. Sorry. Straight up Steve Austin pulling in good numbers for considering the time slot. 703,000 for Tiffany Haddish. Impact Wrestling has announced that the Good Brothers versus Private Party will be set for No Surrender, which is on Impact Plus on February 13th. Fox is bringing back WWE Backstage, and it's going to air on Saturday, January 30th at 7 Eastern on FS1, special episode of WWE Backstage. So pretty cool to see. No word if that's a one-time thing or going to be back for good. I'm going to assume one-time thing. AEW has trademarked Battle of the Belts, which was a classic event name, according to PW Insider. WWE has filed some trademarks, mainly for the women that have joined and other new arrivals for WWE: Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Zoe Stark, Duke Hudson, Serena Sandhu, and Rohan Raja. A couple of new documentaries have debuted this week on the WWE Network. Pat Patterson documentary called My Way, as well as the Bianca Belair Chronicle, both have debuted. WWE Network News is reporting that WWE Icons documentary series will debut Sunday following the Royal Rumble, and it will be focusing on Yokozuna.
One blessed with the name of Yoke.
And Superstar Spectacle. That was today, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I didn't either. It kind of snuck up on me. And Matt Cardona and Brian Myers are launching a podcast network and new original series. The Major Pod Network is to expand on the success of their flagship show, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. The launch includes two new original podcast series. The network is especially excited to announce the February 17th launch of the new podcast series, MC, The True Long Island Story. And as we mentioned last week, that was being trademarked by Cardona. The podcast will be a deep dive into Cardona's groundbreaking YouTube series, Z, True Long Island Story, which pioneered the use of social media to get a wrestler over, even though Vince didn't like it. That's basically the gist of it, right, Matt?
Pretty much.
The network is also thrilled to announce the launch of another new original podcast series, Extreme Conversations with Brian Myers. Each episode explores a historic moment from classic ECW with interviews from the very wrestlers involved, as well as other insiders. So good stuff from those guys there. Royal Rumble is upon us this Sunday from the Thunderdome. All we got is 5 matches to go off of, though, right now. That might be all we get. Who knows? So here we go. Tag team titles on the line. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Matt, I don't see a title change here. Do you?
I sure as hell hope not, because you know how I feel about Nia Jax.
Nah, I don't know.
but who knows? Like, I honestly, either outcome here would not surprise me.
This might be a whole night of who knows.
You're not wrong. I'll go with Charlotte and Asuka, but I'll tell you, I'm not 100% confident with it.
Man, I'm not either now that you talk about it, but on paper, off the top of my head, I'm like, yeah, it ain't gonna be a title change. But now, with Charlotte dealing with Lacey and Asuka dealing with Alexa, it could very well happen. Damn it, Matt! Why'd you have to go and put that in my head?
I'm just saying that, like that's just the truth, man.
WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre and Goldberg. Oh my God. Like I said, this could be a night of bad decisions, just like college.
But
just like college with the swing man, Daddy.
I really don't think Drew loses here.
I'm sticking to my guns with Drew here.
Especially after he said he was dedicating the match to everybody who was fought or is fighting COVID.
Yeah, I posted.
I'm like, if you fucking have him lose after that, like, go to hell.
Dick move there.
Yeah, that would be such a shit thing to do.
And with Drew McIntyre retaining the WWE Championship, I'm sticking to my guns on the Universal Championship, and I am predicting Kevin Owens defeats Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Matt, what do you think?
See, the storyline dictates that Kevin Owens should win. He really, really should win this match. But I don't know what their plan for Roman is for WrestleMania. If they're gonna do Roman and Goldberg, that doesn't need the title. So, take the title off of Roman and let KO fight somebody else.
How solid do you feel like that's happening for Mania?
What, Roman and Goldberg?
Yeah.
50-50.
My thought on that WrestleVotes tweet is what the only thing that could be bad about the Roman thing is it's booked so poorly that Roman just uses an abuse of power to just come in and win, to where it's booked so badly. It's the only thing I can think of.
People would absolutely. I think people would hate it. I really do.
Well, he's a heel now, so it helps.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I think KO should win, but I feel like he's gonna lose. Like, I feel like Roman's gonna retain. Like, but to me, the storyline dictates that Kevin Owens should absolutely win this match.
I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with KO.
I hope you're right. I'm gonna go with Roman, but I'm hoping KO wins.
I think this is obvious, but we'll see if we match up here. Women's Royal Rumble. Who's your winner?
Well, I was picking Ronda Rousey until she teased an appearance on Twitter today. Now I don't think she's going to be in it. I think as soon as anybody kind of hints they're going to be doing something, I feel like they're not going to be doing it. So I feel like it kind of eliminates them from the equation. So my Ronda Rousey pick, I kind of feel like it's out the window now. Man, I'll again, not confident at all. I'll go with Bianca Belair.
Yeah, that's my pick, is Bianca Belair. It sets up, because I've been saying all along it's got to be Bianca and Sasha at Mania, and so now it just sets up perfectly that if Bianca wins the Rumble, I mean she had like the 8 eliminations or something last year, so she already had.
To me, if it's not Bianca and it's not Ronda Rousey, it's got to be Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it can be honestly, I do not think it can be anybody other than those three. It's got to be one of those three because Becky ain't coming back for the Rumble.
No, and well, my initial.
I think Becky will be back in time. I do think Becky will be in the ring at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I do believe that, but I don't believe she's going to be back for the Rumble.
I wonder. Oh no, yeah, no, never mind. No, never mind. Don't even erase that memory. Like I originally thought Alexa Bliss was going to win it, but now that they've kind of fast tracked her to Asuka, that's changed. So yeah, I think it's going to be Bianca. I'm pretty certain.
I think the fact that they've already run through Asuka and Bliss 2 times in 2 weeks tells me she's not going to win.
No.
I think if they wouldn't have done those matches leading into this, I think she would have a much greater odds of winning. But now, like I feel like it's Belair, it's Ripley, or it's Ronda. I don't think any other woman has been set up properly to win this match. I mean, unless they bring in somebody that no one's seen, unless they bring like Tessa Blanchard or something along those lines. Like, I just don't like. I don't even think you bring Taya Valkyrie and have her win it. Like
12 of the 30 women.
I feel like you could have Tessa Blanchard debut and win it.
Yeah. 12 of the 30 women have been announced so far.
Yeah, we're gonna get almost everybody from the Raw and SmackDown rosters. We're gonna get a handful of girls from NXT. We're gonna get a few surprises. I think we'll see Marlena. I think we'll see Eva Marie. People that we already know that Eva Marie signed with the company.
Yeah,
they're just trying to figure out what the hell they're gonna do with her. So I mean, this would be a good place. I would not be surprised to see Taya Valkyrie, although I'm hoping she goes to AEW instead. Just the fact that her husband's in WWE worries me that that's where she's going to end up. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, like we've named the 3 or 4 people that it might be. I don't think it could be anybody other than them. Like if you think, I'm sure there's people out there that think Charlotte's going to win it. I just don't see them. I don't see Charlotte.
She won last year.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see them letting Charlotte win back-to-back women's Royal Rumbles, and I think that would be disastrous for her long-term likability or lack thereof on the internet right now.
Lacey Evans is probably going to eliminate her anyway, so. Well, I was all set, confident on the men's side of things until that WrestleVotes tweet tonight.
You think Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, that seemed to be the plan for weeks now. But at the same token, if KO beats Roman, Daniel Bryan doesn't make any sense. He doesn't make sense for either opponent. He doesn't make sense for Drew or KO.
No, it just makes for a good history-making match with KO.
No, I agree. I mean, it would make for a great match, but I mean, it doesn't make storyline sense. So I don't know, man. I'm worried. I fear it's going to be Lesnar. Well, even worse, we might not get a Rumble result at all. If they do something, if they use your idea and they do something fucking wacky with the Fiend, we don't even get a men's Royal Rumble winner.
That was my initial thought. Was they just something booking wise to.
And that would certainly be something that would piss people off.
The way that was worded does not say Lesnar returns to win the Rumble. The way that guy worded that source worded that does not say Roman wins the Rumble or Goldberg winning the Rumble. Even just the way that is worded screams a shitty booking decision that is not revolved around who wins. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was looking forward to the Rumble.
To me,
and now, to be honest, I'm a bit nervous now.
Yeah, to me, Lesnar coming back and winning it does not fit that sentence. Neither does definitely Roman losing and then coming back and winning that. No.
Well, Goldberg, like other people, like you also got to keep in mind that like other people have pointed this out. This is only one man's opinion.
Yeah.
Like this is only one man in the company's opinion that this result scares him to death. Maybe it's great. Maybe this person doesn't like it, but we will. Like I don't know. WrestleVote certainly didn't drop any hints.
No.
As to who it's going to be. Sportskeeda is reporting that there are going to be a lot of part-timers at WrestleMania this year. Like a lot.
Well, like one of the first comments on that tweet was Shane McMahon.
That would be awful.
Heel Shane against KO, WrestleMania, groan.
God, that would be terrible.
I mean, it's not WrestleMania worthy because of the way they've booked them. They've only just begun to finally book them well, but I mean, either Cesaro or Nakamura would be great, but they've been booked so poorly for so long as singles people. It's hard to fathom a WrestleMania match with those guys. If Roman stays champion, it'd be cool to see a Big E try to go double champ at Mania. Big E and Roman would be a good feud, in my opinion.
To me, any hope I had of seeing Big E win the Rumble went out the window when he won the IC title.
I agree, but maybe Big E goes for double champ, and that might not be so bad.
That certainly doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
No. I'm just talking predictions now. I'm not trying to predict the shitstorm that guy's predicting. Because that's the only thing I can think of is the Fiend comes back, and obviously the Fiend is going to be back in the Rumble.
I would assume so as well, due to the fact that Randy Orton's going to be in the Rumble itself.
Yeah. So
I still think with all this money WWE's making right now, extra $1 billion over the next 5 years of this fucking Peacock deal.
Brock Lesnar.
You fucking call Phil, man.
Yes. Ain't gonna happen, but yeah,
you get him in for WrestleMania season. Even if he's not gonna be sticking around afterwards, just to have him around for like 3 or 4 months would just change the game for a bit.
Man, him and KO at Mania.
That would be fun. I mean, even him and McIntyre at Mania would be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like WWE to me needs to do something that's going to get the fans excited on Sunday, not something that's going to piss the fans off. And they need to be really careful. It's not like Raw is blowing up the numbers for them right now.
Not at all.
But here's the problem with that. Raw is doing historically the worst numbers they've ever done, and NBC still gives them a fucking $1 billion to host their WWE shit for the next 5 years on Peacock.
Yep.
So to me, all that tells Vince is I can book all the garbage that I want, and it doesn't fucking matter. And, I mean, that's depressing in itself.
Yep. I think we've exhausted all options.
Oh, boy. Sunday's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah. Man.
I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about, good or bad, next week.
That's for damn sure. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Lost the Midcard. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure you search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Wednesday. We are also on the YouTube, and the links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. or on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw Showtime. I am on the Twitter at JB Husker, so give us a follow there as well. And before we ride off into the sunset, look forward to that Royal Rumble on Sunday. Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I just hope WWE is smart going into Sunday's show. I hope, whatever they put on is a smart thing, is smart decisions to get the fan base excited for the road to WrestleMania. And because now is not the time to be cute. Now is the time to do shit to get people, excited and pumped up for, your biggest show of the year. Like, don't fuck around.
Oh, they're going to fuck around. I have a feeling.
I'm worried about.
For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Last of the Midcard. We'll catch you next week with our reactions.